I have seen many people saying, William Ruto wants to sell the airport. Am I a madman? You know, how do you sell a strategic national asset? You have to be insane.
Senator Onyonka for some times now. He has become the face of opposition to Ruto regime. The latest update that has left Kenyans amazed is the plot to sell JKIA and Ports to Adani. In a bombshell revelation, Senator Onyonka has exposed an underhand scheme by the Kenyan government to sell the country's key assets.
The other day I saw Professor Nyong'o write a brilliant article on where this story of Adani came from. And he was saying the contract which has been signed means that all the other airports cannot be refurbished, cannot be changed, cannot be repaired until that airport is built and until Adani has finished operating it in the period of 30 years.
So wait, what?
Yes.
So other airports can't be refurbished?
You can't refurbish, you can't change them.
Why?
Because that's some stupid agreement that somebody went and signed.
But see, I thought they said this whole Adani thing is a lie in the beginning when you guys started talking about it.
That is true, but Lynn, wonderfully, information is power and the truth always sets us free.
Yeah.
Many people, I can tell you this, the Adani story is the most shocking story because it is bigger than Anglo-leasing. It is bigger than Anglo-leasing. It is so overwhelming in terms of even the thought processes and what are the implication of those actions. 2017, there was a committee at the National Assembly which was headed by a guy called Kosing. He's still a member of parliament. They tried, I don't know who was using Kosing, I don't know whether it was just an honest try to see whether you could have a PPP to develop the airport structure in the country. And that committee made recommendations which I've tabled and said, this is part of our national security structure. Are you getting me? How do you allow your airport to be managed by foreigners from a country, okay, which is India? Assume that something happened and Kenya decided to go to war with anybody because the radar we use is the radar we have at the airport and the one at the military. Now, the question is, what if you allow this company to run your airport and they're the ones who then are going to get the traffic controllers to manage your radar and all the technical expertise? What if in this war, India was for their antagonists against us? What do you do? I mean, that's why I keep saying, shouldn't there be somebody advising the president better?
The Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, JKIA, and the Mombasa and Lamu ports to Adani Group, a controversial Indian conglomerate. On this video, we are going to dive deeper to understand much details about the Kenya government and JKIA deal and how it will affect Kenyans. Before we continue, please subscribe to our channel, like this video, and turn on notifications. You can also write a comment. What do you think? Is it true that Adani will finally take JKIA and Kenyan ports? Thank you so much. Now guys, let's get deeper.
CS, would I be wrong to say that Mr. Saini is the agent of Adani in Kenya? The answer is yes or no. It's up to you.
I'm not aware.
You're not aware. Are you also aware that meetings that took place in Dubai where this deal was being discussed, Mr. Jayesh Saini was sitting in that meeting with individuals from the Kenyan government, and I will state here that the person who met Mr. Jayesh Saini in Dubai was Honorable Murkomen when he was the minister in the position you are in?
I am not aware.
Without having evidence that I can prove, but I think it's important that I make the statement that in that meeting that money exchanged hands, and Chair, later on I believe as we continue, these details should be presented to this House. The second issue I wanted to ask the CS, in your understanding, I want you to go to where Honorable Cherargei was. You go to page, Chair, we start with the consideration of the project progress. Minute 6. I want you to go there, Chair. and your MD of KAA could answer this because it directly involves him, but again, it is under your jurisdiction. A PPP project is considered under the following factors: value for money, affordability, commercial value, manageability, and acceptability. The PIP by AHL was submitted on the 1st of March. The evaluation report submitted to the PPP committee on the 8th of March. On the 13th of March, they conducted a feasibility study, and on the 28th of March, submitted a feasibility study report on the 3rd of May. During that period, if you notice, this is only 1 month. Is that possible that this could be done? 18 days.
Like you did say, I will allow the CEO to answer that, but this is the feasibility study that I did call in my opening remarks, in my opening response, an initial desktop due diligence was done by KAA and the PPP Directorate. So to the extent that you are just getting information desktop from the internet, from which airports they have built, like what we've gotten from the letter from Senator Roba, that could be done in a day.
You've not answered my question, sir. This report, I repeat it to you, please, I'll be very slow. The PPP project is considered under the following factors: value for money, affordability, commercial value, manageability, and acceptability. The PIP by AHL was submitted on the 1st of March. Please write that date down. Yeah. After that, the evaluation report, which was submitted, was done on the 8th of March. Next, on the 13th of March, they also ended up conducting another feasibility study. Then on the 28th of March, they submitted a feasibility study report, I believe, to your committee for approval. The question I'm asking you, in a period of 30 days, do you believe that somebody can actually get into our airport infrastructure, do a feasibility study, talk to the people who work there, talk to all the stakeholders, and then make a presentation that you use as a CS and make a logical conclusion about this exercise?
I think, Chair, what we're basically saying is PIP, privately initiated proposal, has been submitted to JKIA on that date. They could just submit it to the PPP committee with a covering letter.
So you agree that they actually did the feasibility and finished and gave you all the facts? That's why I call it
a desktop. They are basically saying we've
No. In this statement, there's nowhere they have said it is desktop. So the answer I expect you to give me here is yes.
It can be done.
It can be done.
It is just preliminary work, and we are submitting to the committee for consideration.
Thank you.
It can be done.
Go back to where Honorable Gerard Gay was, and he said there were different quarters in government who had an issue about. That is the board. That is the board telling you that this report, which is being tabled, there are certain individuals in government. And this comes immediately after this feasibility study, after this report. You are saying that it can be done. In 30 days, individuals were sitting and telling us that our airport, which is worth 1.2 trillion shillings, can actually be given to somebody at 136 billion shillings for a period of 35 years or whatever it is. Did it occur to you, Bwana Waziri, that when people in government have an interest in this matter, what did it mean to you? Because we didn't know. So I'm talking to you as an outsider. What was your interpretation of this?
Like I've said, Chair, on again and again, we've not had many PPP projects succeeding in Kenya. And even as we sit here, we are asking ourselves, should it be PPPD, should it be PPP, and therefore was the board privy to the full runway of the PPP process? Did it mean submitting to the Treasury was for approval? No, it was going to stage 2, it would go to stage 3, it could go to stage 5. We're currently doing a detailed due diligence, a proper due diligence that you visit, you answer the kind of, you look at all the details, and by the time you reach stage number 20, it will possibly be a procurement cycle that is taking a whole year. So to the extent that we are employing PPP for mega projects because we don't have the kind of outlay capital to invest, somebody is possibly asking also in KIA, why not competitive PPDD process and so on and so forth. But this is just stage 2 of the 20 stages, Honorable Chair.
CS.
But let me allow.
CS, just a minute.
Yeah.
Through the chair, Senator.
Through the chair, thank you, Chair. CS, that's... It's not what I asked you about. You are a cabinet secretary in government. You have gotten a document that has been written by a board. Let's assume this board is Sony Sugar. And members of the board tell you, you want to hold a PPP exercise in this factory. We are uncomfortable with it because we have received information that some of your government officials and people, big-time players in your government, have an interest in that matter. What does that imply?
Let me
just
just...
on a point of order, Mr. Chairman, that question was asked to the CS, and the CS is the one who has taken oath. If the acting managing director wants to answer, he has to do so with permission from the CS. But you cannot just jump in.
Is well advised?
It is, and the CS should allow you to take the microphone.
Yeah.
But I understand you don't understand, so we accept that. CS, can we proceed?
Feel free to direct any member of your team to assist in answering questions.
I'll do that, Chair. I think to the extent that we received PLC proposal to basically build an airport that we'll be desiring to build for 13, 14, 15 years. If I received a PPP proposal today for Mombasa Bironi, I'll possibly be trying to push it within the next 1 week. We'll ask ourselves, is it true that somebody can build for us this road? It's not something that I want to sit on in my office. I'll possibly be talking to everybody and saying, we have this proposal, can it work? And therefore, depending on the agency, there could be interest. There's no question about that. But I did say, Chair, that I've just gone back to my step 1 to step 20, to the extent that even if the board was sitting to consider this, there's a whole due process, including why we are appearing in Senate today. Difficult questions, some of the simple questions because of lack of information. Satisfy everybody that the due process must be followed.
Is very simple. Who delivered the report, the evaluation report, and how was it delivered to whoever that received it, the proposal?
Can the question be made clear in terms of, is it the delivery process or?
You see, there is even about how the board met, and in a period of 30 days, there was everything that was taking place, and that was geared towards producing a report to justify and prove why this is a very good deal. Who delivered that report, and when did they deliver it? And how did they deliver it? There's a reason why I'm asking that question.
Yes, you want to assist me on this, but the more I think about the 30 days, I think they took so long. If we really needed an airport, if you receive that today, it would be out of.
I'm looking at the documents you gave me.
Which
You are the one who gave me the
Point
documents.
of order, Chair. I think the CS should give us, should respect our intelligence. You're not talking to some nursery school kids. Respect our intelligence and address us as adults and address us as senators of the Republic of Kenya.
Are you addressing Churchill or addressing the chair?
I'm addressing.
I think the best thing for us to do is that on a CS, when a question is directed to you, just be direct to the point,
And
to
simple.
avoid, and answer if you know the answer. I say I do. If you don't, we are lenient as a committee. We can always read between the lines.
The Adani Group, led by billionaire Gautam Adani, has a history of acquiring strategic assets in various countries, particularly in the energy and infrastructure sectors. In recent years, the group has made significant investments in Africa, including Kenya. The alleged plot. According to Senator Onyonka, the government is planning to privatize JKIA and the ports through a secret deal with Adani Group. The terms of the deal, he alleges, are highly disadvantageous to Kenya and will result in the loss of critical national assets. JKIA sale. Onyonka claims that the government intends to transfer the management and operation of JKIA to Adani Group for a period of 25 years. This would effectively give the Indian conglomerate control over one of Kenya's most important transportation hubs. The senator argues that the sale of JKIA to Adani will have severe consequences for the country's economy and national security. JKIA is a major gateway for tourism, trade, and investment. Its privatization would give Adani undue influence over these key sectors. Ports sale. Onyonka also alleges that the government is planning to sell a controlling stake in the Mombasa and Lamu ports to Adani Group.
The contract which has been signed means that all the other airports cannot be refurbished, cannot be changed, cannot be repaired until that airport is built and until Adani has finished operating it in the period of 30 years.
So wait, what?
Yes.
So other airports can't be refurbished?
You can't refurbish, you can't change them.
Why?
Adani has been given another contract for them to take Ketraco. Somebody whispered to me that there's a likelihood that Adani might also be given Kenyan. And finally, what Adani wants is to take over the port of Mombasa.
These ports are vital for Kenya's maritime trade and serve as hubs for the region's imports and exports. The senator warns that the sale of the ports to Adani could compromise Kenya's strategic interests and lead to the loss of control over a key economic sector. It could also pose a risk to the country's security and sovereignty. Lack of transparency. Onyonka has criticized the government for handling the alleged privatization plans in a non-transparent manner. He claims that there has been no public consultation or parliamentary approval for the sale of JKIA and the ports. The lack of transparency has raised concerns about the true motives behind the deal and the potential for corruption. Senator Onyonka has called for a thorough investigation into the matter and for the government to come clean about government's response. The Kenyan government has denied the allegations made by Senator Onyonka.
You see, these are the painful experiences I'm having as a legislator. And that is why, Lena, I was explaining to you, what is my value if I'm not able to question this? What are my children who are above 20, many of them? What are they going to think about me as their father? And I was a Senate and I was a member of parliament when literally we got rid of our airport, when literally Adani has been given another contract for them to take Ketraco. Somebody whispered to me that there's a likelihood that Adani might also be given Kenyan. And finally, what Adani wants is to take over the port of Mombasa. How does that make somebody feel?
Reject, guys. Reject.
That is my heartbreak.
So Adani amepewa nini na nini tena yetu?
Amepewa he's interested in Ketraco.
So for the airport,
yes.
Let's clarify.
Yes.
So he's in.
Is what I do not know is that they had been signing agreements. I don't know whether they finished with the final one. My belief is that those people having come to the airport like you saw last week, something happened. There's something that was trying to give them the legitimacy for them to come there. Then they were chased away by the workers of the airport. And I am so proud of Law Society of Kenya and Madam the Chair. Faith.
Amazing.
Incredible.
She's
incredible.
amazing.
The court finally listened to the public mood and the Kenyan public. And I really pray that in our courts, we are going to have people of a higher standard. I really pray. Because the reality we have is right now, the courts are our last line of defense. If the court collapses, then many of us, I can say, I have no hope left.
You know what's shocking?
Yes.
You are my senator,
Yes.
and you don't know.
I don't
where
know.
we are with this deal.
I don't know. We have been picking information. You see, something that is so wonderful.
Boy.
I told you, there have been Kenyans who are so nationalistic.
Yeah.
So proud. And now they don't fear. Now people don't fear. People are saying, let's fix this thing in good faith. But if you don't want us to fix it in good faith, we are going to break it down and start from zero.
Because shouldn't that information be public? Why is it that data on such issues not public?
Is not public.
Data on conservation
not public.
Has stated that there are no plans to privatize JKIA or the ports, and that the government remains committed to protecting Kenya's national assets. However, the government's response has been met with skepticism by opposition politicians and civil society organizations. They argue that the government has a history of making opaque deals and that the alleged privatization plans should be investigated thoroughly. Conclusion: the allegations made by Senator Onyonka have sparked a national debate about the government's priorities and the future of Kenya's critical infrastructure. The potential sale of JKIA and the ports to Adani Group raises serious concerns about the country's economic, security, and strategic interests. Whether the allegations are true or not, it is clear that the government needs to be more transparent about its plans for these vital assets. The public has a right to know how the government intends to manage them and to have a say in any decisions that will affect the nation's future. We have come to an end of this video. Please subscribe to our channel, like this video, and turn on notifications. You can also write a comment. What do you think? Is it true that Adani will finally take JKIA and Kenyan ports? Thank you so much. Let's meet in our next video. Good luck.